if I had to pick like one of the key habits, and I think it qualifies as a habit, that like a lot of the more successful members of the stories that we see here is that people keep their expectations in check. Like they don't come in and I mean, the more successful stories that we see, we don't have people coming in and saying, I have a wedding in 2 weeks, I got to drop 45 pounds. Like, and it's not going to happen. But when someone comes in and they've had 40 years of bad habits and they know it's not going to change in 40 days, like they know it's going to take time. Like those stories right there, those habits, like those are the ones where we see like the best results. Like they know it's going to be a gradual change, like whether it's something small, whether it's not having the bread at dinner or whatever it is. Like those small little changes over a longer period of time, again, are more sustainable and more successful.
In looking at expectations, I give you a reframe on expectations themselves, especially when you're setting unrealistic expectations. So unrealistic expectations, if you wrote that word down, just change it. Unrealistic expectations are actually just disappointment in progress. That's what you're doing to yourself. You don't know it in the time. You think, I'm setting this really, really big goal, which is great to have a goal, but if you translate that goal into an expectation that I must be at this point by this time, because you're just giving yourself a deadline of when you're going to be disappointed in yourself. Because most often we think of ourselves much like our expectations for ourselves tend to be higher. So we set ourselves up for this failure and then we get all upset with ourselves about it. But like we made that decision way over here as soon as we set it, you know? So if you think of like unrealistic expectations are really just disappointments in progress, you will put yourself in check, like Brian said, to not set yourself up for that disappointment.
I think another characteristic, there's so many things going to my mind right now, but I think another characteristic trait that we see of successful people is what we were talking about last night, actually, Ryan and I, is the concept of surrendering and understanding that you can control a lot. And I do recommend controlling what you can, but there's also an aspect like life is going to throw you so many curveballs that you cannot anticipate, in allowing yourself to surrender, but also understanding that you are going to be okay. Like you're empowered. You know yourself. You know yourself better than anyone else. You're going to be able to get through it, but sometimes you have to surrender to those moments, to those seasons of life, and not letting it take you under, like the negative mindset around it. Like, this is it. I'm going to go back to where I was 10 years ago. It's like, no, you're not.
I think also surrendering to help. You know, like, and I know, Alicia, you can speak to this probably more of like how many times someone comes into us, like to meet with us in our training facility, and they're in a very bad spot and they need help. And when we show them our plan for help, they try to tell us how they need to do this differently, or how, well, they've tried this or they've did this and they want to do this, and I can't do that. Let me try this. I'm never doing. Like, if you knew what to do, then you would not be here sitting here talking to us. Like, if you can just remember that, if you had the answer, you wouldn't need to come here.
And it's okay.
And it's okay that you don't have the answer. It's totally fine. But also trust and surrender to the people who you're going to help. And even if it's not us, if you're going to hire a coach or whoever to get help, like, you're going to them for a reason. Allow them to help you, because they do have, like, they have help. They have the answer. Like, that's why they're doing what they're doing. Just do it.